Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, we're going to be setting up my reading journal for May 2025. But first, let's take a look at how April is going so far. I read books in two different fantasy series this month, the first being Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I read for book club and I really enjoyed it, and I also read Queen of Shadows, which is the fifth book in the Throne of Glass series. I read one more book right at the end of April, and I thought it'd be fun to create that spread on camera today because it's actually the first book I rated 5 stars this year, besides Fourth Wing of course, but that was a reread for me. But the spread we're making today is for Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and we're going to start by cutting out all the images I found on Pinterest and printed out on label paper. I always get questions about my printing process, and that information will be in the description box below. I'm taking these covers I printed out of the book, and I'm going to put them in a few different places in my reading journal, like in May's book club spot. I just read this super early because I needed to return it to the library, my 5-star reads page, which has taken me months to add to, and also my books read page for April. After coloring in that star rating, it's time to officially get started on this book review spread. Remarkably Bright Creatures is a fictional story about an octopus who befriends this old woman that works at an aquarium, and he helps solve the mystery of her son who passed away 30 years prior to when this story is taking place. It sounds a little crazy, but it is such a wholesome book and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is actually the author's first novel that she's ever written, and in the acknowledgements at the end, she explains that this idea for the book came from a creative writing class that she took, where the prompt was to write from a unique character perspective, and she chose an octopus, which I think is really cool. I really love the chapters from when it's Marcellus's point of view, who is the octopus. I've never read a story like this, and I thought it was just so sweet and thoughtful. I have this sort of sidebar over here that I've been doing in every book review spread in my journal so far this year, and I got this idea from Mochi Bujo here on YouTube. I have things like the book cover, my star rating, and book stickers are from Pretty Little Studios, the author, the year the book was published, the genre, the dates I started and finished the book, and I also added in times read as well because I tend to reread a lot of books, which I'm sure you know if you've been watching my videos for a while, or even just know me in general. I love rereading books, and I thought it'd be fun to keep track of how many times I read things. In this case, this was the first time for me, so I just wrote the number 1. As for my review, I'm actually not going to write this on camera. I tend to have a lot of spoilers in my book reviews, and I don't want to write something and give it away if this is a book you want to read. And I didn't really see a point in writing it and then having it all blurred out, so this will be an off-camera thing. But if you want to see my review, I usually post them on Instagram after a spoiler warning in the thread. But yeah, this is my completed setup for Remarkably Bright Creatures. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this dedicated spread of my first 5-star read of 2025, and now it is finally time to set up my reading spreads for May. When it comes to my theme for May, I decided to go with an Ink and Page Journal's Sunlit Garden Journal Ephemera Pack, pretty sure that's what it's called, and it just had all these beautiful bright and flowery themed prints. Again, if you have questions about my printing process, please check out my description box below if you're looking for my label paper, image sizing, all the things. Now at long last, let's set up my cover page for May in my reading journal. I started out with this ivy-looking background image that I printed out on copy paper, and I ripped off a couple pieces to paste down in the corners of the left page. Then I took this art print that I sized at 8.5 by 5.5 inches on cardstock, and I rounded the corners on this before using my Tombow tape runner to paste it in the center of the spread. I ended up adding a bunch of different washi tapes as well. The green is from Stationery Pal, and so is the orange and blue ones actually from the Remarkably Bright Creatures spread, and the peach and yellow ones are from Amazon. I stamped out my May header using my alphabet stamps onto a craft paper sticky note, which is the same way I did my headers in my bullet journal for May, so I love the cohesiveness across my journals. I stuck down my May headers with my Tombow tape runner in a little cluster with some more washi tape and stickers I printed out from the Sunlit Garden journal pack onto label paper. And that is this cover page complete. Let's move over to the left where I have my reading progress tracker and May TBR. My reading progress tracker is basically a regular old calendar grid, and throughout the month, you're supposed to highlight or draw a bar across all the days you were reading a specific book and stop the bar when you finish it. And then when you start a new book, you do the same thing in a different color. You probably noticed it in the beginning of this video when I was flipping through my April spreads, and I've just been loving to implement them into my reading journal monthly spreads as a little stats tracker. And it also helps me when it comes to my book review dedicated pages, because then I can just flip back and see where I started and finish the book and transfer that information over to those spreads. And the bookshelf at the bottom of this spread is for my May TBR. I've been doing this the last couple months where I just have drawings of book spines and I pre-write in the titles of all the books I want to read throughout the month. And similar to me using the same headers in this journal as I did in my regular bullet journal, we're also using pretty much the exact same color palette. These are the Archer and Olive calligraph pens in Dusty Rose, Peach, and also Key Lime Green, because my marsh green from my previous setup video was completely dried out, unfortunately. But I think this green, although it's a lot brighter, it goes well with the ephemera pack. And if you want to get some calligraph pens or other beautiful stationery and journals for yourself, you can always use my affiliate code CMCG10 for 10% off your order at archerandolive.com. Their products are incredible. By the way, I hope you're all enjoying the real-time edits that I've been doing in all of my reading journal videos lately. I've been getting so many comments from you guys about how much you enjoy seeing my reading journal setups not sped up like I typically do for my regular bullet journal videos, so I'm happy to keep doing that for you all. But after adding in some headers, more stickers, and numbering my calendar, that is this reading progress and TBR page complete, and we're now moving on to my books read log. I'm ripping up some more of those copy paper background images to go in the corners underneath another art print, and I'm actually making my books read log a 2-page spread this month. I've been doing my books read on the left and a quote page on the right since the beginning of this year, and I don't know what made me want to switch this up for May, but here we are. This functions differently than the previous page with my TBR on it, because those are all the books I plan to read, but this will be a collection of the books I actually finish in May. I have 3 spaces that fit 3 book covers, and I'll just print those out once I finish the books. And those spaces are going to be these little pre-cut craft paper sticky notes over on the right. I also have a star rating sticker from Pretty Little Studios that I'm going to be sticking at the bottom of each box to color in with my personal star ratings of each book that I finished this month. I'm just adding a few more stickers around this spread, and that is my books read log complete, so that is officially the end of my May reading journal setup. I'm going to be doing a quick flip through back and forth of all the pages we created in this video, and I can't wait to fill them out throughout the month. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal social medias. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!